Hey everybody, we're starting Pop Week now. All right, everybody, so I'm gonna start. All right, so this week is Pop Week. Is pop an abbreviation? If so, what's it abbreviate?
Popular culture.
Yeah, popular music. Yeah, definitely. So, yes, pop music is just popular music, which falls into the category of any genre, which you'll be seeing as we go over this. But before we get into that history, I just want to show you how the music or pop songs are now made and compared to, yes, blues. All right, so the song structure for a pop song, if you ever want to write a famous pop song, so you need the intro, the verse. Huh?
I'm going to do my retirement.
Exactly, there you go. So you have the formula now. You can start making multiple types of songs now, especially pop with this. Okay, so you have the intro, the verse, the chorus, then the verse again, the chorus again. You have a bridge, the chorus one more time, and then the outro. All right, so I know it sounds very foreign at the moment. All right, so these are the number of times that you perform it, okay? Whether it's through repetition with your musical instrument, all right, that's usually the case here. And this is just going into more detail. Don't worry, you'll have this PowerPoint. So definitely, if you retire, you want to write songs, all right? You have the PowerPoint, okay? I'm never gonna get rid of it.
I'll put your little credit on the
Exactly,
on the table there.
exactly. There you go, there you go. So this one in particular, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this famous song by Katy Perry called Fireworks. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is how they conducted that song in particular, right? So you have, your letters here. So different sounds, right? Different verses, different tones, whether it's high to low. Alright, so these are all the chord progressions. So if you play instruments, this is, yes, your musical sheet, basically.
We don't have to copy those.
No. I just left it here, for information so you could physically see, what goes into a pop song, the structure, okay? So you're going to definitely see a lot of repetition. Oh, thank you so much.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, you could leave it there, no problem. All right, so this is the pop song structure. Anywhere, yeah.
We have a
It's fine.
sign-in sheet?
Oh, no. You can make one. Yes. So this is the pop song one. And then I'm going to compare it to the blues structure, which we know blues is 12 bar blues, right? This is the structure for blues music that country music also uses. All right, so I know it looks, yes, very foreign. So, yeah, I just wanted to show it to you so at least you'll see it. And again, yes, if you do play any instruments, at least you'll have yes, the map of how you should play it if you want to do a song in blues style or a song in pop style. All right, but since we were going to focus on pop, we're going to continue. Thought this was just a little fun fact so you could visually see. Okay, now what we're going to do, okay. So I'm going to give you two videos. The videos contain very interesting information based on a study that was conducted. And then after you watch the video, we're going to have task one, where you're going to be writing a paragraph, okay, about what you have learned from the video. So you're just going to be writing a reflective paragraph based on the two videos that you're about to see now. So, all right. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Okay. All this equipment, and it just keeps glitching. All right. Okay. All right, I might have to call Russell. I don't know what's going on. Once again. But, oh, there we go. Okay. It works whenever it wants to work. All right. So, yeah, like you were saying, you had to find a record store, and the record stores weren't in every corner. You had to travel to it, and if you had money to buy these records, right, that was another factor. All right. So, right now we're just going into facts so you can see. All right. Oh, hey. No. It was low. There we go. All right.
Watch your favorite 24/7 news networks live on YouTube TV.
All right. So you know this song, right? You know this song, yeah. All right. Sorry, I know. Right now it's gonna be like this. I know. So this sold 8 million copies, just like Hey Jude from the Beatles sold 8 million copies. So this broke even a tie. All right, excellent. So I believe you might know this song. Mhm.
Is this what we're writing about, these videos that you show?
No. No. So this song, you guys, you know this song, right? Okay, no problem. All right. So yeah, this is the Black Eyed Peas. I got a feeling you have Fergie here. Yes. Yeah, you've heard it a lot, right?
That's what she said. We used to hear all the time.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I can imagine. Yeah.
You know why?
You know they use it. The kids sing it for their graduation.
They sing this, yeah, for their graduation. It's a good song. Yeah. So. All right, so I'm gonna pause it. Sorry, guys. All right, so this song is apparently more popular, and seeing how you guys heard it multiple times, more popular than an Elvis or a Simon and Garfunkel song. Yes. So it's just facts to keep you up to date. So think of it like those Snapple bottles. Now, if you ever go to your students, you're like, "Hey, that song you're listening to." It's more popular than this.
On these fun facts you're saying, okay?
No, don't worry.
I'm not writing anything.
No. And you'll have it in the PowerPoint, so don't worry about that. All right. So, I know there was some people that knew Celine Dion here, at least Celine Dion's music, right? Okay. So there is a song called Falling Into You. I think it was some of the first songs that she started creating before, of course, the Titanic, blossom. So, Falling Into You sold more copies than Queen, Nirvana, or any Bruce Springsteen record. Okay. I know, right? It's crazy bananas. Like, yes, absolutely. So I know during this time period, we're talking about this music. In the record store or CD store, because this was CDs, they used to actually just sell singles. You would go and be like, oh, Celine Dion. You wouldn't buy the record. You would buy like the single, and it would just have 2 or 3 songs, right? And it was only like $5 or whatnot. So yes, this sold more. Yes, I mean not this song, but Celine Dion, "Falling Into You" sold more. All right, now we're getting into some more popular people. Don't worry, you're not going to be tested on these fun facts. It's just good for you to know. If your kids start playing any of these songs, you'll throw these fun facts their way. All right, Katy Perry, we know that name. She's very popular right now, just like Rihanna. Holds the same number of records sold as to Michael Jackson.
Really?
So they're tied.
What?
Yeah, Katy Perry.
Really?
Yeah. So they hold the same amount. I know, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
It goes to show you, you're seeing the new generation. Although this is kind of still old generation. I figured it out. Yeah. Oh.
No, first the.
Oh, okay. It just keeps coming in and out. Okay, now I know. All right. So last fun fact, I promise. We'll see if you know this show. So it was a show. Now it's over. It's called Glee.
Oh yeah.
Glee. Glee.
Oh wait.
The Glee. Okay. So they have sold more songs than the Beatles.
Glee.
Glee. And that was a show. Can you believe that? People would buy the CD because, you know, they were doing covers of songs. Yeah, it started blossoming, right? Once you're on the media, right? If money is coming your way, if ratings are really high up there, they'll try to transform it into something else, like, yeah, a play and whatnot. All right, so we're gonna go back to our PowerPoint now. Okay. So, coming back to pop. All right, so now we know, yes, it's an abbreviation for popular music. All right, so the genre originated from its modern form in 1950s, and we know in the 1950s rock and roll was starting to happen, hence Elvis, right? But the term pop song is first recorded as being used in 1926. So it goes a little further back. Because if you remember, in the 1920s, we were talking earlier about jazz, right? This was when the flappers were occurring and everything. So even though they were playing jazz, you would get a singer to come up on stage and start singing.
That's what crushes me, that pop was considered pop back in the 20s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's crazy, yeah.
that was more of like a 50s or pop thing.
Yeah, I think well with anything, yeah, they had a pop song, but it wasn't called like yeah pop music. Pop music, right, was considered like during the time period of the 1950s. Pop song was like oh even though it was like jazz, oh that pop song, even though it was the 1920s. So they didn't categorize it as like a music genre. hmm All right, so yeah, it originated in Britain. Okay, pop music originated in Britain. So like I was saying, during this time period, right, the war was like ending, but the damage was still there. Okay, it left a lot of people in poverty, and that's when Britain started to get access to not only American music, but they also started to make their own music, right, which also became very popular. Hence the Beatles. Right. All right. So in the late 1950s, however, pop had a special meaning of non-classical music. So even though maybe you would hear like classical instruments, yeah, you wouldn't consider Beethoven pop music. Maybe during their time period, it was the pop culture music, but yeah, not now. Now it's classical. All right. So remember these names because you will see some of their songs very soon. All right, so the well-known names in history, of course, the Beatles, Michael Jackson, the Rolling Stones, and ABBA. But it continues. These are just a few. Again, remember these names. All right. So now going into more and more. Mhm. Okay, so early British popular music in the sense was commercial music. Of course, this was accessible for everybody and anybody, as opposed to rock music where they were targeting teenagers to get, you know, more sales. All right, so even now you can say pop music is considered it's used excessively in commercials, in movies, right? With some country singers, we heard some of their songs used in movies as well. But pop music was the go-to at this point in time. All right, so during the 17th, 16th, and 17th century, right, arrival of broadside ballads. Now we're getting into classical. As a result of printed evolution, were sold cheaply in a great number until the 19th century. So we're gonna keep going down because I don't want to keep you. We are gonna definitely do something else today. All right, so further technology, economic, and social changes led to new forms of music in the 19th century. All right, including the brass band, which produced a popular communal of classical music. All right, so similar music halls sprang up. You started seeing this in the country music, right? The teenagers, not the group teenagers, but in general, teenagers in general would be dancing, learn dance moves. So they would learn dance moves in these music halls that sprang up. And it, as you can see here, yes, it catered new urban societies and adapting existing forms of music to produce popular songs and acts. Again, just going back to those shows that they for country music that they got more exposure. All right, in the 1930s, the influence of American jazz led to the creation of British dance bands. All right, so who provided a social and popular music that began to dominate the social occasions and on the radio wave airwaves. Okay, parlor music. So this was popular music performed in parlors and middle class homes by amateur singers and pianists. If you think of like cowboy movies, western movies, right? They always had a parlor where everybody would drink, which was basically a bar. They had a piano and a piano player, right, to keep the good times going and the booze flowing, right? So yes, but now it was coming into the house. So I know rich people, or well, during that time it was rich and poor, but they would have pianos, and this is where they would entertain. Oh, come to my house, we'll have like a dinner party. They would play, because of course we didn't have YouTube during this time, so you would just go around and sing or watch somebody play and just have a good old time. All right, so last piece of information for early pop music. All right, so broadside ballads were arguably the first form of commercial popular music in Britain. All right, they were produced and developed on cheap print of the 16th century. So keep remembering, yes, all this printing and writing, because it's going to play an important role later. All right, so the origins of pop music. All right, pop music, which accounts for most of the music in today's charts, of course. If you play the radio station Z100, they play everything, right? That popular music. They play all popular music. All right, so the genres are a mix of different styles. I just said pop music, popular music, raised from multiple different styles. Here it's jazz, country, rock, rap, bebop, which we don't have too much, but bebop and hip hop. All right, so again, just going back to the radio stations now, they play all the popular music. All right, music sheets. This is a big thing. If I was to give a test, this would probably show up on it, right? Music sheets was a big thing with pop music. All right, so as it's literally written notes, right, which would get families together and then play on instruments. So in other genres, they didn't really use music sheets, right? It was more of what you felt, you would write. Like we talked about Johnny Cash, he had a notebook where he wrote poems and songs. It didn't follow like a pattern or anything. But in pop music, you're following, yes, you're following the structure for a pop song. Right? But in general, yes, you have to have a music sheet. Okay. So now, publishers of music sheets set up companies to meet the demands of those desiring their products, and would often scout out new composers and have their music available in print form for sale. All right, so now I mean, you just Google the lyrics of a song. You know, if you want to do covers, you can find all that information online. Back then, yeah, you had to buy books that had the musical sheets with the musical notes, and it told you what letter, what tone you were going to play your instrument. So again, musical sheets were very important to pop music. Okay, here's another one. So the most significant feature of pop music in the industry of the late 18th century and the early 19th century was the extent of its focus on the commodal form of music sheets. So again, repetition, right? So the most significant feature of pop music is its focus on music sheets. Okay. All right. So pop music is described as a very commercial, friendly, marketable, memorable, or either vocal lyrics or a combination of all three, creating catchy chorus and verse, which you're going to see with the songs that we're going to go over and into. Okay. All right. So the goal was to create visual context in response to the feature extracted from the music to give visual cohesion representation of the sound. All right. So let me see. Task 2. All right. Before we get to task 2, I'm going to just go back a few. Okay. The origins. Okay. And see if we're able to get those videos. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see. Blows. This is really a good video. All right. So. All right. I'm gonna see if it does end up loading up. But in the meantime, oh, there it is. Yes. Okay. So we'll get to do task 1. So again, I'm just gonna remind you, task 1. I'm gonna play these 2 videos. Okay. And task 1, you're gonna write a reflective paragraph basically on the information that you took away from these videos. So the first video is going to go into a study of why music makes us feel the way we feel. Okay, so it goes into some scientific term. Okay, so it's more of a scientific study that goes into that. And then the second video goes into a more historical like aspect of popular music. And this is what you're going to be writing for task 1. Information. Okay. All right, so this information is going to go with time periods of pop music now. Okay, so we're going to start off in the 50s. And you don't really need to write this down. It's not going to show up on test. It's just information that, good information to know, okay, based around pop music. All right, so Elvis Presley, a well-known name. He emerged as the first rock star, right? So with so many hit songs, okay, he was referred to, of course, as we know, the king of rock and roll. Okay, he is one of the most best-selling solo artists in the history of popular music. So referencing pop music, right? Popular music. All right. So this happened during 1956. That's when he really hit it off. Okay. So in 1957, we saw John Lennon perform, okay, with a fellow country singer. But John Lennon met Paul McCartney, and in 1957 they formed a group. Okay, so after they met on July 6, 1957, they hit it off, and they decided to, and agreed. They were in agreement to join this group. Do you guys know what group that was? Hmm? Wait.
John Lennon and
I heard the measles.
No, the Beatles.
Yeah, the measles. I was like, wait, the measles? Okay. It's a new group. If you guys want to start the measles, you can. I don't think that name's taken. All right, yes, exactly. So they formed, yes, that group. They took off. All right, so let's go with 1957 again. All right, so the first, let me see. Oh no, sorry, late 1950s, so like 1957, around there. All right, the English rock music group, the Beatles, okay, was formed, as we just heard. All right, so then George Harrison and Ringo Starr were the members of the group. Most of the lyrics were written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney. Okay, so now we're getting into the area where they're writing their own lyrics, right? They didn't really need the label compared to today's day. All right. Now, last one. This one you know very, very well. 1958. Michael Jackson and Madonna were born. Yes. They were born in 1958. All right. So these two, of course, are the most well-known people in the pop industry, right? In the pop history. All right. Now, some more facts to see. If that doesn't play, then it's all right. We'll continue with the next exercise. Look at that. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going into the 60s. All right. So Peter Best joins the Beatles in the 60s. The group invited Peter Best to join to become their drummer. All right. So in August 12th of 1960. Then in 1961, American country singer Patsy Cline, okay, became mainstream pop. Okay, she became mainstream pop and created multiple hits. Cline's was the first female vocalist who adapted and changed to become a popular singer that she is today. All right, last, almost last for the 60s. All right, so Ziggy Marley. Who's Ziggy Marley? Yes, Bob Marley's son. All right, so he was born in Jamaica, Trenchtown, Jamaica, in 1968. He is a four-time Grammy-winning Jamaican musician. Okay, of course, you know he's the lead singer of Ziggy Marley. All right, and 4 days after hiring, let me see. Oh, yeah, that's not really relevant. All right, we're going to move on to the 70s now. Okay, so 1972. Okay, Michael Jackson did his first solo hit called Ben, which reached #1. Okay, Ben is a #1 hit song by the teenager Michael Jackson because during this time he was a teenager and he was doing, he was in a Motown label, right? And in 1972, the song was the theme of a film with the same name. So the film is called Ben, and that was his first solo hit song. All right, it went to top the charts in Australia as well. 8 weeks, it was on the top spot. Okay, so in 1974, Michael Jackson introduced the robot. Okay, so all this refers to pop culture. We are very familiar with the robot. Okay, so in many performances, especially on the Soul Train, he called the dance. That's when he introduced it as the robot. All right, so from 1975 to 1983, all right, disco and hip hop led to the popularity of pop. All right, thanks to the movie Saturday Night Fever, which had John Travolta in it. All right, so disco music gained popularity. Hip hop emerged as a blend. Okay, so this is a little bit extra information before we get into Hip Hop Week. So hip hop emerged as a blend of rock, jazz, soul, and African drumming. Okay, and it's from New York City. All right, so it originated from here. All right, so non-stop music videos were released on MTV, and Cats began its journey. Cats, as in the Broadway show, during this time period, adding to the pop culture and the change of pop music. All right, so the debut of Madonna's Holiday became a hit during this time period. So we were still in the 70s, now we're moving on to the 80s, and we'll see what I can do with those videos in the meantime while you work on another task that I have for you. All right, so in the 80s, this group called the Red Hot Chili Peppers were formed in 1983. And then in 1983 as well, Michael Jackson popularized the moonwalk. Okay, so the moonwalk, can anybody do the moonwalk? No. Or you guys are too shy. No, I'm not going to put you on the spot and messing with you. So, you know, the moonwalk is kind of just walking backwards. Okay, this is quite the signature. All right, so it's a illusion, right, of a dancer stepping forward in a sense, too. Forward and backward, because you have to go forward to move back. All right, so in 1985, Michael Jackson released. Does anybody know a hit song that starts with T? Yes, yes, in 1985. So he released Thriller, which has now become, I mean, one of his hugest classics, right? So this is still one of the most notable videos till today. All right. Now, in 1985, all right, let's see if you know this star. Britney Spears emerged as a star in the music world. So at the age of 8, she made her music television debut on Star Search. So if you know a lot of these artists, right? Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, they all started even like on a Disney little show, right? And Star Search. Yeah, I also know Kristen Bell, the actress. She started on Star Search singing, but now she's an actress. Right? All right, so in 1999, about 1,319,000 copies of Baby One More Time were sold in the first week of its release. So during this time period, the internet yes, wasn't as popular as it is today. All right, and then let's see, we're gonna move on to the 90s. All right, so we got a few more pop groups that we're gonna go into. All right, so in 1990s, so famous groups made pop music were more popular than grunge. Okay, from that formed in Seattle, Backstreet Boys, Blackstreet, were formed, and the movie Titanic, the song "My Heart Will Go On" became popular. All right. So I am giving all this information for reasons. Later on, you'll find out these reasons. All right. So in 1992, Radiohead released their first single, Creep. Okay. And in 1998, Coldplay formed the band, settling on the name Coldplay. Okay. Which was suggested by a local student that was using that current name. So that was pretty decent. No copyright there. The student was like, here, have the name of my band instead. And they stuck with it. All right, so we're going to continue just a little further. All right, so now we're going to the 2000s. Okay, so in 2002, this huge television show called American Idol started. Yeah, it's still going on. Absolutely. And it has Katy Perry now on it. All right, so another pop singer. So, trivia fact for you guys. Well, not even a fact. You guys should know this. Who was the first American Idol? Boom. Kelly Clarkson, absolutely. All right, so still today, yeah, I know. It's all weird, but it's okay. And she's on The Voice now, right? So we have all these reality shows that have to do with music. All right, so in 2003, a rapper known as Marshall Manners, he also had another name. Does anybody? Eminem, yeah, absolutely. So, yes, he started his career as a Slim Shady, known as Slim Shady, which was popular during that time when his music video came on and also when his song came onto the radio. But in 2003, he won an Oscar for the song Losing Yourself from the film where he portrayed his life in 8 Mile. Okay. So he was the first rapper to ever win an Oscar. Okay. So fun fact there. All right. And we have to go with a little bit of the tragedy that is the death of Michael Jackson, which happened in 2009. All right. That's, yeah, it's terrible. So yeah, he suffered from cardiac arrest. in his home, as we remember. It was probably from more things than that. Yes, absolutely. All right. So now, all right. While you're doing task 2, I'm going to see if Russell can connect me to the internet so we can watch these these videos. But in the meantime, we're going to jump into task 2. All right, hey everybody. So we just finished up doing task 2. So today was only 2 tasks. It was task 1 and task 2. So on your own time, you're gonna have to do that and post it up. I'll create a folder for independent study or missed work, and you'll see it on Schoology. I gave also here in class an article which I will scan and post up in Schoology. So the same drill, you're gonna read it and post a paragraph response to the article that you read, okay? So that's going to be it for now. Next week is going to be wrap week. So the article you're going to be reading is going to coincide with the information that will be provided in class. All right. And for now, that's it. Okay, so I'll see you next week. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you and goodbye.